Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to this new sort of series that I'm going to be doing on my channel, which is web development tutorials. There's still a lot of people out there that want to get into web development but don't know where to start, and just simple things that they need a bit of a guide on how to do. So in this first tutorial, what I'm going to do is something that every website needs, which is a navigation. I'm going to make it's purely CSS, HTML and CSS. There's no JavaScript or anything included. It's a nice drop-down navigation for your website. You can edit it how you want. It's quite easy to edit. I'm just going to take you through the basic tutorial on how to set up the navigation. So first things first, you want to get two blank documents on whatever you use to do web development, which for me is Sublime Text. Some people use like Adobe Dreamweaver, Notepad++. Some people just use Notepad. Some people use something online. There's a lot of different ones out there that you can use. I just prefer Sublime Text because you can get a free version. It does the job just fine. So you want to start off with two documents. One's going to be a HTML, one's going to be a CSS. You don't really want to mix the two into one file because it's just going to make the website load a lot slower. Another thing you want to start off with is just start off with having a folder with everything kind of nice and neat. So you got a CSS folder, you got an images folder, you got a JavaScript folder. For this tutorial, we're not going to be using a JavaScript or images folder. We are simply just going to be using the index.html and the CSS folder. So if you're brand new to web development and you don't know how to set up a simple HTML page, I would recommend going to, I think it's W3 Schools, because that can give you a nice tutorial on how to basically set up a simple HTML page. I'm just going to run through it and just do it quickly, so I'm just going to speed up this video whilst I quickly write all the code out. Okay, there we go then. This is the simple HTML layout page. That's all you really need. It's quite easy to do. Personally, when I'm doing websites, I just prefer to copy and paste them over because it doesn't really affect anything on different websites that I'm working on. And plus it saves a bit of time rather than having to keep writing it out. Anyway, we're going to get into the main part of the navigation now. Okay, so we're going to start with a blank index.html page. You'll notice if you load it up in Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Internet Explorer, anything, you'll notice that once you've set up the page and you've saved it, it'll just be a blank white page like this. That'll be fine because obviously you've got nothing in your HTML at the moment, so there's nothing there, there's nothing styled. So let's go ahead and style that now. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is build the navigation in the HTML. So to do this, you want to start off, it's pretty simple. It's just about nesting things under each other. You want to start off with a nav. So you do a nav ID, and we're just going to call it navigation. And under this, you want to do a navigation wrapper, which is going to basically set the width, the margin for the navigation, and the stuff like text align. Like if you want to align to the left, you want the text align in the center or the right. So we're just going to do that now, which is going to be nav ID equals navigation wrapper. So we're just going to wrap it all together. And then under this, it's really simple from here. It's just doing lists, unordered lists, and lists to basically list the navigation items. So we're going to start off with a UL, which is an unordered list. And then under that, we're going to do an LI, which is going to be a simple list. And then from here, you want to do a link, which is going to be a href. We're just going to give it a hashtag because we don't want it to link to anywhere at the moment. And we're just going to do, say, home. And it's going to close that. For Sublime Text, for me, just like automatically close it when you open a new tag, it'll close it if you want it to close. And then obviously from there, I'm just going to save some time and copy and paste it. So copy and paste it like 4 or 5 times, depending on how many you need for your website. You know, every website should have kind of a home page, an about us page. If you're a company and you're selling service or doing services, then probably a services page. The vital one is a contact us page, because a lot of people probably are going to look for a contact us page that's got your phone number, your email to contact you on, probably your business address, stuff like that. So we're just going to go about us. Let's just say services. For another one, let's just say social, which is going to be your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, etc. And then the last one should be contact us. Now, obviously, we want to close this, so we'll go here and close all these. And that's literally your HTML done for the basic navigation, not for the drop down yet, but that is basically your navigation done. Let's go and see what it looks like. So this is what the navigation looks like so far because it's not styled, but you can see you've got your lists here, you got home, about us, services, social, and contact us. So let's now go into the style CSS and style this. So here we have our style CSS file. Obviously you can see it's blank because there's nothing in it at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by doing a body. So this is going to be the basic, you know, how do I describe it? The whole website. So if you set a background color on the body, that's going to be the background color of the website. So for instance, if we do background color of a light gray, which is going to be EEE, we save that, refresh this, you can see the background changes to a nice light gray color. So that's basically what the body does. It's basically the whole website kind of thing for the styles. So from here, we're going to go straight in and style the navigation. There are, you might notice in CSS you have a hashtag or a bullet point, so a full stop, whatever you want to call it. A hashtag is used for IDs, and a dot is dot, full stop, etc. is used for div classes or nav classes, etc. In this case, we use an ID, so we're going to use a hashtag, and we're just going to obviously call it navigation because you can see that we've called it navigation in our HTML. So from here, this is going to be just basically what color you want the navigation to be. So for instance, we're just going to go with black. So which will be 000, or you can just put it black. It's up to you. Once we save this, we go back here, you'll notice that the whole navigation will go black. Something that I've just forgotten to do is put the margin and padding in the body. So in the body, you want to put margin, put 0, and padding 0. And save that. Now once you go back into your HTML file on your web browser, you'll notice that all this space and around this navigation will be gone. It will all link up nicely to the corners. There we go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go in and style the navigation wrapper. So obviously we called it navigation _ wrapper. So we're just going to style this. For here, this is what you want to do. So you want to do the set width for the navigation. So you want to set the navigation in a certain width, unless you want it all coming from the literally all from the left side or from the right side. But me, I prefer to have a nice container that's holding everything together. I was going to say quickly, a lot of people, pretty much 90% of websites now use Bootstrap, which is already responsive for you and has all containers already set in them. But if you like starting off with HTML, then this is obviously just a tutorial to show you how to do a simple navigation in HTML5 and CSS3 with a drop down. So let's just get in the navigation wrapper. We're going to do a width, let's just say 1080 pixels. That's going to be the width of what's going to be contained in it. We're also going to want to do a margin of 0 auto. And this will be where you set your text align as well. So do you want a text aligned to the left, the center, the right? Personally, I don't really like having websites like with text centered, like especially navigations. I just have it like coming in from the left or the right. I don't know, I've never just been into the kind of centered navigation text. And once we save this, let's go back into our website, refresh that, and obviously you can see all this is moved into a nice container. So it'll be from about here to probably around here or something like that, where all the navigation will be contained, all the navigation lists will be contained. Go back into our CSS file. Next is going to be the unordered list. So we're going to go with the navigation UL. Here we're going to do a list style type of none, which is going to get rid of the bullet points next to the navigation lists. We're going to do a padding of 0 and a margin of 0. Once we save that, we go back into here, you'll notice that the navigation is now gone all the way to the top because there's no padding, and you can see the bullet points are now gone next to the navigation lists. Go back into the CSS file. The next thing to do is go and style the unordered list and the list. So basically what this is going to do is style the list that's under the unordered list. It won't do it for everything. If you've got another navigation that's not got the ID of navigation, then it won't do it because you've got navigation set here, so it's only going to style the ones under the nav ID of navigation, if that makes sense to you. But basically now we're going to style the list that's underneath the unordered list. So in here, what we're going to do is you're going to do the displays. So do you want it above, like the navigation list above each other, like on top of each other, or do you want it all in a nice like kind of left to right list, which is what we're going to go with because that's what most websites are using these days. So we're going to go with a display of inline block. Also, this is where you can set your font size. So let's just go the font size of, I don't know, let's just go 10 PT for instance. You can set your font family in here as well, which we're just going to go with a simple, let's go with Verdana, however you want to say it, wherever you're from. You can also set a font weight in here as well, but we're not going to do that because there's no point at the moment. But once you save this, you'll notice, or you should notice, there we go. They've all moved like next to each other, and you can see the font family has changed as well. Obviously, it looks really bad at the moment because there's no padding, there's no spacing, and also the color's blue and you can barely read it. But we're going to get onto that now. So the next thing to do is style the link. So basically, what we're going to do is go with the navigation ULLIA, which obviously is going to style the nav, the UL, the LI, and then the A that's inside the LI, and then just so you get into a nice habit of doing it. You don't want to just do this, you also want to put a comma there and do visited as well. So you visited the link before, then it doesn't change the style. So what we're going to do for this is navigation ULLIA and then do a colon and do visited. That's just to stop it going to a blue text color again if you've already visited that link before. But let's get into styling this now. So obviously we've got a black navigation, a nice color that will look against it will be white, so we'll do FFF. Do a text decoration of none. This will get rid of the underline on the navigation list. Here's where you'll set your padding, so all the space in between the navigation list. So let's just go with a nice 20 pixels. And the display, you want to go with a block display on this. Once you save that, you go back into your website, you refresh this, you can see that it's now got a nice navigation there. And we're nearly pretty much there. So this is your navigation. Obviously, if you go over it, you can see it's like nice and styled. You got white text, nice and spaced, and that's pretty much your navigation. If you want to go into a bit more kind of detail with it, you can do a hover as well. So once you hover over navigation item, something happens. So you get like a background color, which we're going to do now. So you can go navigation, ULLIA hover. And then here you can set whatever you want. So let's just go with a background color of let's go 383838. Once you save that and you go back in here, you refresh. Once you hover over one of these, you will notice that the background color goes to a gray, as you can see. Now you can also do stuff like make it transition like gradually. So in here we can do a transition of say 50, or I'm gonna do all because I'm lazy. Do a transition all .15 seconds easing out. We save that and then you'll notice that it comes in gradually. Some people prefer that, some people don't. Some people just want to get it like straight to the point. For this I want it just straight to the point, so I'm just going to take out that transition out of the CSS, but you can keep it there if you want. If you all you want is a simple navigation like that, then that's pretty much you done. But if you want a drop-down navigation, let's go into a bit more detail and go into the navigation drop-down now. So from here, the navigation drop-down, you need to do a bit more edits to your HTML to get the drop-down. So basically what you want to do, let's just go into, let's just say, About Us. So after the closing A, that's still inside the LI, what you want to do is I want to open a new UL. So it's going to open another unordered list, and then in here we're going to do the same again. We're going to open another href, let's just call it link 1, and close that, and then just copy it again, this like two, 3 times. I'm going wrong now. 2, 3 times. Just go link 2. Or just let's just copy this. I can't. I'm being lazy and I can't bother to change it. And again, you want to close the UL. And then once that's done, that's basically the HTML for the drop down done. Once you refresh your website, you'll notice that you've got all of these. You've got all of these links under About Us. Obviously, it's a bit kind of screwed up at the moment because it's not styled. The drop down is not styled to open once you hover over the about as well. So let's get into that now. So HTML's done. Your CSS now is next. To start off, you want to do a navigation, a UL li hover UL. So basically what this is doing is once you hover over a UL, the UL li, it's basically hovering over another UL. Let's put it simply. So here what we want to do is just one style in this, which is going to be a display of block. That's all you really need for that one. Now next one is going to be a navigation UL. So that's going to be 2 ULs, so it'll be here UL. In here you're going to want to do a display of none, because we don't want this showing all the time. You only want it shown once it's hovered over. So we'll do a display of none. We'll also do a position of absolute, because we want to move this the drop down to where the about is, or whichever one's being hovered over it is. We'll do a background color, so this way you'll style this. You can do, again, let's just do another black one. Let's do border top of 0, and I prefer to do a min or max width. So for me, I like to do a max width of around 250 pixels, depending on how big your navigation is going to be. But for a simple one like this, I like to have a max width of 250 pixels. So if you refresh your website now, you'll notice that you can see here it's hovered over, and you can see it's got a nice 250 pixel width, and you can hover over these. But obviously you want it to go downwards instead of across. So let's start that now. So from here we go, I'll do a navigation UL li. So just do another display of block. Once you save that and you go back into your website, you refresh, you'll notice here you go, they've all stacked on top of each other. But obviously the width has gone a bit kind of weird. It's not 250 pixels anymore. So let's go ahead and style the rest of it now. So next we're going to do a navigation UL li a, and then again do the visited version of it. So navigation UL li a visited. And here's where you can style it again. So we've got we can go for a white color again, do another text decoration of none. You don't really need to do this unless you want to style it differently compared to what the main navigation is. But this is just if you want to style it differently. Last one is all we need to do is navigation. Again, if you want to do, you can do a UL li a hover. And you could do, say, a background color of, say, let's just go with a nice grey color, which is F1. And we can do a nice color of, let's just do a black color, see how that looks. So once you save that, obviously you can see once you hover over it, it's working. I've just noticed where I've gone wrong. So in here, I've done a max width instead of a min width by accident. So what you want to do is you want to do a min width, which is basically minimum width of 250 pixels. So once you refresh this, you will see now it's got a nice 250 pixel min width. Let's just go back into here and just do, say, a nice grey color for the hover. There we go. And this is how your navigation looks now. And that's basically it for a HTML5 CSS3 navigation with a drop down. If you like the video, be sure to subscribe, like and comment. And if you want to see more tutorials, well, I'll try and explain them better because it's my first tutorial that I've done with web development, and I've probably confused people a bit. If I have, I'm sorry. But if you'd like to see more tutorial stuff like anything you want really, more HTML, more CSS, some JavaScript, jQuery, just let me know and I'll try and push out a video probably once a week of a tutorial. If they get more popular, then probably 2 times a week. But yeah, this is how to style a HTML and CSS navigation bar.
I'm still rolling with my gang and my G squad and my team. Try the commotion, it ain't nothing to write for the bro them like la di da di da da da.